Hey guys, MotorCarNut here. Today we're going to be working on a BMW code that is 120308. Charge air pressure, plausible pressure too low. Okay, that's going to give you a drivetrain malfunction light on the dash. And I'm going to show you the steps how to fix this type of problem. It's kind of common on the BMWs. With the 2.0 turbo, the N20 engine that's in the 1 Series, 2, X3, 5 Series, any BMW that has a 2.0 liter. All right. The symptoms of this car is all the light comes on, but and it says drive moderately, but there's really no power loss at all. So I'm thinking that it's some kind of a sensor or a leak somewhere where it's not that bad that's causing the car to go into limp mode. All right, so let's get to it. Please subscribe, hit the like button. You really like the video, super thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Keep the channel going. So now the first thing you're going to want to do is basically what's happening is that as the turbo builds up boost, the computer sees that it's not enough for a specific range RPM, and it's going to throw that light. In this case, it's a low boost. So what you're going to want to do is common failures. I'm going to give you the common. There's many reasons why this can happen, but I'm going to give you the common ones. I hope it gets you going. Okay, so I'm trying to talk in layman's terms, for most guys that watch my channel, that don't know automotives, but they can feel like they want to tackle it themselves. All right, so this is what it is. This is a charge pipe. You see the pipe that goes into the intake manifold? Now, from the intake manifold, we can go back. We're going backwards to the turbo. All right, it goes down, okay? It goes into an intercooler, and then it comes out over here. So let's go. The proper way is actually it's going this way, okay? What it's doing, it's using the compressed air. The pulses of the exhaust spin the turbine and puts pressure in this pipe. This pipe goes through, goes into the intercooler like I just said, and there's this charge pipe, this pipe right here. Now, if that pipe has a crack, or if the O-rings are loose and everything like that, it's going to throw that code, okay? The piping, any kind of piping that goes into this charge pipe. Over here, the sensor here, there's a temperature sensor, anything that can possibly leak will throw that code. The best way to check that, you can visually check it to see if it's split, because they do split on the bottom, but you can visually check it. Or the best way to do it is to take it off over here and put a smoke test in it and smoke test it backwards and forwards and see if you see any leakage. All right, let's assume that the pipe is good and it's not leaking. Okay, now we go on to step 2. All right, now you may have, this is a wastegate actuator, this is vacuum actuator. You may have an electronic one. So if you have electronic one, this really won't apply to you. But if you do have a vacuum one, there's going to be, you have to make sure your vacuum line, this vacuum line goes to the pump. What you can do is with the engine running, you can disconnect this vacuum line right here. Just make sure you have vacuum. You can feel it. All right, there's supposed to be a certain amount of pressure, but let's do it the fast way. You put with the engine running, put your finger over there and see if you have vacuum. You have vacuum. Now on this cover, there's a vacuum accumulator that accumulates vacuum, because if it didn't have that little reservoir, when the computer, when you're at partial throttle, when that wastegate's supposed to close to build up pressure, it will be going like this with the engine. So it builds up, it has like a little storage tank, so it doesn't do that. All right. Now, that storage little tank is underneath here. Let me just take these off and explain it. All right. You're going to have to, this just pops up. I have it loose, as usual. It's going to have 3 lines when you take it off. And when we flip it over, you see the reservoir? You may need a vacuum gauge to do this. You would have to block here, put vacuum in here, to hold your finger here, see if this thing holds vacuum. If it holds vacuum, that's not the problem. Keep that to the side. Now, this vacuum hose goes all the way back to, there's an exhaust flap in the back that when the car is cold, that stays closed because it makes a warmer, a quieter noise. If that valve stays open, it's going to be, a lot of guys like that, so they leave it like that. But that's another issue. This vacuum line goes there. Don't worry about that one. This is the vacuum line that goes to the vacuum pump. Okay? Now, it goes to the pump, then it goes to this reservoir. Okay? And then one goes to the back flap of that exhaust, which I told you. And then the other one comes down to your wastegate. Now, when you have vacuum, let's say we already checked, you got vacuum. Vacuum is held in here. Now, when you're at partial throttle, you know, when you're getting boost, that solenoid opens up and allows vacuum to suck close the wastegate valve so it can build pressure. If this solenoid is bad, it's not going to do that, and it's going to give you that code. That's the number 2 most popular failure on this car. All right, number 3, there's a diverter valve. Now, let's see. You see the wastegate? The wastegate is here. Now, there's a diverter valve right next to it. You're going to see an electrical connector, and then there's going to be like a little black mechanism right next to it. That's the diverter valve. All right, that's the 3rd failure that will cause that code. You take that out. That diverter is supposed to divert the unused pressure back into the system so it doesn't lag on the turbo, or it doesn't bind it up and make the turbine go the opposite way. All right, that in itself is not the problem, but if that seal is leaking, that'll give you the same effect as if the wastegate flap that's supposed to stay closed doesn't stay closed. And that's the 3rd most popular. Okay, then there's other ones where it could be the computer, which is extremely rare, and basically it's the boost pressure sensor could fail and give you that code. Now, on this car, I was thinking it was the boost pressure sensor because the car had no problem. It still had boost, even though it says drive moderately. The car still flies, right? But it turned out that this solenoid is not holding vacuum. Okay, so when it's supposed to close and put direct vacuum to the actuator, it's not doing that. So it's staying partially open. That's giving me that code. Okay, that may be a problem, may not be, but those are the things to check for. All right, guys? And like I said, it's pretty safe. Also, you want to make sure that all your intake plumbing is good too. You can do that with the smoke test. Make sure everything that goes into the turbo is good. But usually that code is for the charge pipe. That's usually the output that I just showed you that goes into the intake manifold, right through the throttle body. Okay, guys? MotorCarNut, please subscribe, hit the like button. Any questions pertaining to the video, I will answer them and get back to you as soon as possible. I appreciate all the comments and how the channel's going. I really appreciate it. See you guys in the next video. Thank you.